I don't know. I don't know. That's why I asked y'all that question, because to me, okay, that's I will mend the loss, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my mistake. I wasn't the one.
If they want to keep it, if they want to keep it a secret, if they want it to be, and then the mama knew already, so. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell,
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys.
Let's
all right?
get it.
Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
That weird family secret that you didn't know about till you were older.
What the heck? Did she just? I gotta check my camera. Did she just hit the camera with her wine bottle thinking? Boy, that felt a little too realistic.
When I was 15, I found out I had a younger brother.
Oh.
My mother had me at about 16 years old, so she was in and out of my life all throughout my childhood, leaving me to be raised by my great-grandma. Love ya. But later on in my teen years, despite all the trauma and emotional abuse she caused me, I really wanted some sort of relationship with her. Right. So when she was married to her third husband, I went to the celebration at their neighborhood bar. Not long into the party, she gets absolutely hammered. And me, getting sick of her bullshit, I just walk home. An hour or so after I get home, she gets dropped off. She came in screaming, yelling, knocking things over, raising all sorts of hell. Finally, I get her sitting on the couch and calm, and that's when she crawls up to me and whispers in my ear, "You look just like your brother." Me thinking she's just so drunk she misgendered my sister, I asked her, "You mean my sister?" "No, your brother. He's like a few years younger than you." What? Part 2 coming up.
Oh.
Secret.
You know what's funny about children and parents? That even when a parent wants to get loud with a child, it just doesn't matter. Like when a child wants to remain quiet and still with the argument, they come off as disrespectful. When a child want to talk back, it come off as disrespectful. When a child want to stay silent, it comes off as disrespectful. And it's just weird.
Dysfunctional family.
Yeah, it is though, right? Because I feel like when she made the mention that she had got her mom to finally chill on the sofa, the mom became honest. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. Yeah.
That's how dysfunctional families are.
Brother story, part 2. So after that bombshell of information, she passes the fuck out. I chalk it up to just drunken nonsense. Later on, I tell my great-grandmother, and we have a grand old laugh. But she ends up confronting my mother, asking, "Is this true?" And it fucking was. As I mentioned before, my mother was in and out of my life and would be gone for months at a time. When I was about 3 years old, my great-grandmother remembers asking her, "Are you pregnant? You're looking a little. Are you pregnant?" Turns out she was, but she hid it very well. So once the baby was born, she gave him up for adoption. So by the time I'm learning all of this at 15, the only other person who would have known about this, who would have helped her facilitate that adoption, was already dead. So legit no one in my family knew until then. And I guess it was a closed adoption, so all we had was his first name and a partial last name she couldn't exactly remember, so it was kind of hard to track him down. Years go by and it just becomes another weird family story. Then my first rocky year living in Los Angeles, guess who tracks me down? Oh, there's a bug in my wine. So about 5 or 6 years ago, my brother's wife at the time reached out to me, thinking she was dropping this bombshell of information. But again, we'd already known for a while, and I was so apathetic about the whole situation, I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Little side note, you should know that in my family, we deal with things by not dealing with them and just completely disassociating and sweeping it under the rug.
Okay.
So eventually we ended up having a Skype conversation, and he tells me about his life and how he's always known about me. And then he gets to the question I was dreading. He asks me, "What's our mother like?" What's she like?
More wine.
I essentially gave him the Kids Bop version of my childhood and left it at that. I should also note that my mother is completely cut out of my life and blocked on every one of my social media accounts. To this day, my brother and I have yet to meet face to face, but still talk occasionally via Instagram. So, here's to meeting him one day. Maybe, kinda, sorta, I don't know. Do I really care? I'm not sure. So basically, he was told about me from the get-go. His adoptive parents made it no secret that he was adopted and that he actually had an older sister from his biological mother. And I actually wasn't the first one he contacted. I believe he contacted our mother first. Then she told my great-grandmother, who then told me. Which was really hilarious because she just sort of brought it up in casual conversation one day when I called her. Legit, she was like, oh, today I went to Walmart and got some groceries, and oh, by the way, did you know your brother has contacted the family? That's why it was no shock when his wife reached out to me like, this is going to be kind of a shock, but I'm your sister-in-law. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's fine. I already heard about y'all. How you doing? Probably not the reaction they were expecting, but it's what I got. And as to why he didn't contact me sooner, I have no clue. I don't know. I don't know how the whole system works, what information is released, but hey, here we are now.
That weird family secret that you didn't know about
That
too.
was a little heavy one.
There are so many little secrets that are intertwined with this bigger one, but I'm going to keep it to the point. When I was 17 years old, a woman reached out to me on MySpace asking me if I was related to my father and older sister. This was very strange because I had not talked to my father in several years, because 8 years prior to this occurring, my father was sent to prison for sexually abusing said sister. He had sexually abused her for a decade. Now, mind you, my older sister is not biologically his child, but he did help my mother raise her. This woman also referred to my sister using my father's last name, which was never legally my sister's last name, but that's a story for another day. Long story short, she knew of my sister and knew of my father because she had an affair with my father. I don't think she knew about me because I was an infant at the time, but this affair resulted in a pregnancy. She kept it. My father didn't want her to keep it. They parted ways, but the reason why she reached out to me is a weird story, so I'll have to say that in part 2. So this is part number 2 to me finding out I had a sister that I had no idea about after 17 years. There's going to have to be multiple parts because I'm sure there's a lot you guys want to know. If you have any questions, please comment them. I'll try to respond. I just hope that somebody can feel a little bit better about their life listening to mine. With that being said, this part's going to be about the mother of my sister, which is the woman that reached out to me and why she reached out to me.
Okay.
Essentially, after she realized my father didn't want anything to do with the baby, which is weird because he was actually in and out of that child's life without the child knowing. It's creepy, I'll talk about it later. But once she realized that, she met another man who ironically had my father's name as well. And
Junior.
they were together. He raised my sister as his own. That was up until they separated when my sister was a teenager. It was at that point that her mother decided to tell her the truth and say, hey, this is not your real father. This other man's actually your father. And that's when she went searching for him. So part 3 of me finding out that I had a sister that I had no idea about. So obviously her mom went looking for my dad. I don't think it was too hard to find me because our last name is not very common. The other thing is, she lived 30 minutes from me my entire life. My sister lived within 30 minutes of me. And the other thing is, my father and I look a lot alike. I'll try to post a picture. So this is a picture of my dad.
I'm saying, though, we're going to talk about it today.
This is a picture of my brother who passed away when he was 11 months, which is a whole other story.
Oh, it's a story behind
And
this.
another picture of my dad around that time. So you get the idea. I think it was pretty easy to tell we were related.
Saw it in the notes.
So with that being said, she reached out to me. I did respond, and I will discuss what happened after that in part 4. I'll try to post it right now. This is part number 4 to me finding out.
So I have a question. So people who have siblings who don't share the same parents, if you don't share the same mother or same father or both,
Yeah.
how would that work? That won't work.
You kind of like answer your own question, huh?
If y'all don't share one of the same parents,
Yeah, that way.
do it affect you if you have a relationship or don't have a relationship with those other siblings? And this is going to be an interesting topic because I'm speaking to an international audience, right?
Yeah,
so that's going to be interesting. So I really want to hear what y'all got to say about that. Because we're just going.
That father had another child I had no idea about. This is where it gets a little hard. When her mother reached out to me, I of course responded. I let her know, yes, that is my father. She let me in on why she was reaching out to me. But it was really, really tough for me. You have to remember that I had not spoken to my father in many years because of what I found out that he did to my older sister. I was dealing with a lot of grief and a lot of anger and a lot of guilt because I felt like I should have protected her and I should have known, and my father was the one that did that to her. It was really, really tough. So finding out another surprise from him was traumatic, to say the least. But I also wanted to be able to give my, sister what she deserved. Part 5 of me finding out I had a sister I had no idea about. So her mother and I made plans to meet up.
Oh snap! What?
Seeing as that she only...
I hope she said what the mother was looking for her for.
To have a connection with her.
It's about the connection.
The sister.
Well, she did mention before she did part 5 that he had another secret to
that. Another surprising secret. The
oh,
child.
Okay. I caught that.
The affair in the child.
Okay, I caught that. Yeah, just checking.
Yeah, like
I can't comment, y'all. This is different.
I'm trying not to comment.
Trying to keep it clean. You know what I'm saying? Man,
keep going, because if we
okay.
I'm start spilling beans.
From me, and that did end up happening. I'll talk about that more in a bit. But the first person I told was my mother. I was anticipating that she was going to be shocked, but her response to me was, "Yeah, I know." Now I understand the complexity of the situation for her. It's not an easy situation to be in, and I'm sure it brought up a lot of hurt. But there's a lot of toxicity to my mother that reaches far beyond this point, so it makes me look at her actions in this time a little bit differently than maybe you may perceive them. So I understand if you think I'm being critical, but for me, all I know in the end of the day is I had to deal with it alone. My mother was angry that I even brought it up. I got no support from anyone, and I just handled it myself. So this is part 6 of me finding out about the sister I didn't know I had. I will be walking around for this one because everything is starting to evoke a little bit of emotion out of me.
Yeah, so you have to go take a walk.
Just bear with me. So yeah, my mom couldn't really be there for me emotionally like I needed her to be. And then I decided to reach out to my dad for the first time in years. I regret this decision because not only did I not have the capacity to have a productive conversation, I did not have the capacity to protect myself from my father. His response to me was, I was delusional, I was crazy, I was trying to ruin his life, a whole bunch of horrible names, and no matter what evidence I gave him, it was still somehow my fault. So I ended up ending that conversation in a not a very good way at all, and I'll explain in part 7. I see that I mislabeled.
Okay, so
reverse psychology.
Exactly, because he already ruined his life. And another thing, I missed the age of. Oh, the girl is a teenager. The sibling is a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could understand wanting to, mend what was lost, but if I was in that situation, I wouldn't be taking it on as my responsibility,
Yeah.
I'll meet up with the person, but
I mean,
making it my responsibility to...
No, I wouldn't do that either.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I asked y'all that question, because to me, okay, that's... I will mend the loss, but at the end of the day, it wasn't my mistake. I wasn't the one.
If they want to keep it a secret, if they want it to be like, and then the mama knew already, so mama could have been brought it to her. I mean, when you're a certain age, and if mommy want to talk about something that would happen, and mommy didn't mention it to her,
right? The mama already knew.
Yeah, that's the part. That's the part that could have just even scar. She could have went to mommy and just asked all the questions with mommy, and then
right. I'm pretty sure the mama got down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
The last video is part 7. This is actually part 7 to how I found out that I had a sister I didn't know I had. So the way I ended my conversation with my father is not something I'm proud of. I told him that he should have learned to keep his thing in his pants, because I wasn't going to let him do to my sister what he had done to me. And what I meant by that is I wasn't going to allow her to feel abandoned or neglected by my father like I had felt for so long. So I called my grandma, my dad's mom, who is a saint, who was a saint. She passed away, but incredible woman. I called my Uncle Paul, who is my dad's brother, and they both decided to meet her. More in the next part. So I'm going to try to wrap things up here. This is part 8 of how I found out about the sister I didn't know I had. So I took her to go see my Nana and my Uncle Pa, my dad's mom and brother. I hadn't seen them for a very long time either, but they accepted her with open arms. They never questioned for a minute. She looks just like us. She has the nose. And it was incredible. It was really, really special, and I was so happy for her.
What's a hill that you're willing to die on?
None, sir. I ain't willing to down no hill. Yeah, that was the next vid.
So when she explained her trauma a little bit more about the abandonment, I understood.
I caught this. It was like watching a movie, y'all. Because you got to you want the pieces to fall in place, but you only get it when it ends. And I really understood it then when it ended. So definitely reaching out to her sister. That abandonment is what she suffered with most out of everything, and she didn't want her to go through that same. And I think bringing more family into the picture to help her feel more loved and welcome was a very good move to make.
Instead of going to the dad. Okay. Yeah. And now I do understand why she reached out to the dad. Maybe to try to establish, I don't know if she wanted that. She didn't really explain.
I don't know. I feel like that's the part of the movie where, you know what I'm saying, you tell the bad person, you're done. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix what you broke. And and I think by her reaching out to the sister that she didn't know she had over all these years. Again, mommy knew, but she fixed it. I mean, now she have a relationship with her sister, and she can also help her understand what abandonment can feel like if she ever be in that position. Right.
I feel like family trauma is the worst trauma to have, and
every family has it. There's no perfect family.
Yeah, it's just taking on someone else's mistake is where I draw the line. Like, I'm all for mending.
That's
mending laws, but to take on someone's problem, no. Like, I'm gonna do my part. I'm not worried about their part.
I feel you. At the same time, though, it's like you got to think about how many people was involved and how much of this is going to trickle down to the next generation. Not everybody's going to want to be responsible for the family's mistake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when one person can say, you know what, I'm going to break the curse, or I'm going to change the narrative of what my family tree looked like for a new age to come. I feel like whenever they have their babies, and you know what I'm saying, they won't have to go through that same teary moment like they had to.
Right. Now
so
the sister
that's a big responsibility, though.
It is. It's not, but now the sister knows where her family, you know? It's just, I don't know. Like,
wait, did she mention that the sister knew?
The older sister?
The one that she never met. The one she never met. Did the sister know? The one that...
Okay. So she said that the sister was raised to believe that her mom's husband was her dad.
And then her mama finally told her that that's not your real father. So she kind of was in the mix already then. Okay, so she knew something was off.
Yeah.
Okay.
She knew that the man who raised her wasn't her dad.
See? But it's going to trickle over every time.
But the TikToker, she didn't mention about her older sister, so it makes me believe that her older sister was related to her, her and her older sister shared mom, but maybe that her dad wasn't her older sister's dad.
Yeah, and
I don't know if that was clear. I don't know.
And then her other sister that she never met, that would have been her stepmama, and
no, it wouldn't have been.
And then her mama would have been. She had a baby.
That was a
he had a baby.
They wasn't married. That's not
okay, but it have to be a stepmom. But by
that was a stepmama.
Look, hey, I was finna go all in there talking about, and that's gonna be her auntie, and that would have been her uncle. Yeah, I was finna go all in there. Look, but hey, I think they did a good job with meeting each other and really, bridging that gap. You know what I'm saying? Because bridges burn easy in family trees, and we don't even realize it. Because when we finally reach over to the other side magically, then we start dealing with the trauma that we didn't know was there at the beginning.
Right.
Because we just magically floated over this burnt bridge to go meet a family member, and then that family member not hate you, but don't like you because of something that would happen on this side of the family
Right,
tree,
right.
and then you got to sit down and be like, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So, big responsibility at the end of the day.
Yes, I guess, maybe in my healing journey with my own childhood trauma, I just look at things differently. Like, I don't take on other people's mistakes as my own.
I hear you though.
And, I just do what I can do
Yeah.
for people. I don't take on others' mistakes.
One thing we do say a lot of is baby steps are important. You started off with baby steps, keep going that way because you'll learn a whole lot more instead of thinking that you can just get into a sprint.
Right.
Ain't gonna.
So this was the topic.
Yes.
Let us know if y'all met one of y'all long lost sisters or brothers.
TikTok
And
got
how
all
that
the
went
tea.
for y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form is in our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.